Okay, so this is the Past Time Thinker podcast, Episode 1, the prologue.
Episode 0.
If you will, yeah, that's it. Got Fred, the host.
Hi, I'm Fred. I'm the host. Pastime Thinker podcast with my co-host Jacob Quinlan.
Buongiorno.
And our guest today is Jillian Nemus, my girlfriend, and Victoria Saluski, Jacob's girlfriend. And Victoria, introduce yourself.
Why would you do that? Don't do that, no.
Well, it's unacceptable.
I'll just make up a profile for you there.
Okay, you make it up for me.
Victoria is a 7-foot black man. Pisces. Pisces. Don't know what that means. I don't know what month that is.
Oh my God.
I can guarantee it, she's not that.
It's probably like August or something.
Yeah. Jillian
What's
is an
it like
Aquarius.
being a 7-foot black man in the white man's world?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's hard times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I survived.
How about employment? Do you find it hold you back?
No, I have a pretty steady job.
Yeah. Okay.
With a
And
family.
Jill.
Jillian Nemus.
What about me?
You're an Aquarius.
Yes, I am.
Say something about yourself.
What do you want to know?
I know everything about you. Tell them something.
If you already know, I don't have to say anything.
You're an Aquarius. Say that.
Aquarius.
It's too late. He already said it.
Oh.
What is an Aquarius? That's a fish?
It's
It's literally
No,
a
it's
symbol of
That
water.
makes sense.
It's the water bearer.
It's literally the squiggly line one when you see the symbols.
Yeah.
I have
Do you
the
know
most
what-
least
do you know
interesting
what
one.
my sign is?
What?
No
What is
idea.
it? What is it for real?
You actually don't know my sign?
I
Wow,
don't know, I
Jacob.
don't know the fucking sign.
I'm a Cancer.
Oh my
Oh.
God.
That's about right.
That's pretty I'm a Taurus.
I know yours.
What is
I
Jacob?
just said it's a Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Sagittarius.
By one day. Because 21st is a cutoff,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm 20th.
Hmm.
There you go.
What?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the first episode we're doing. It's exciting.
It's nerve-wracking.
So
Yeah,
excited
it's
to
super
be
It's
here.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
This is going
Oh.
so well.
You get a room full of awkward people. And you put a mic in front of them and you just see what happens.
Hey, I'm
And
not
this is the
awkward. I just
result.
don't know what to talk about. You're like, talk about yourself.
This was literally me that first time I met your dad, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was so nervous. I was like, what if he asks me questions? Like, what do I say?
Like basic rudimentary. What's your name? Charles. Fuck. No,
And
it's
I was
not.
like, what if he comes in and he's like, so Victoria, tell me about yourself. And Jacob's like, he'd never say that. Don't worry. Literally, like 5 seconds into our meal, he's like, so Victoria, tell me about yourself.
Just
Yeah, like
putting
word
on the
for word
inside.
too. And she's like,
What
what
do
if he
I
asks
say?
me this question? And I was like, he's not that basic. He'll just ask you like, hey, how's school? Like, what you taking? No, first question. Hey, tell me about yourself, please. It's like,
I was so
At
nervous.
least you didn't plaster Playboy magazines in your room.
Oh yeah. The very first time I ever took Jill to my dad's house.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally, and like I felt like
This
something
is
was up
so
too.
priceless. I died.
Yeah, like literally
It was
we
funny.
walk in the house. Oh, Dad, my stepmother Casey. I'm like,
Kinda
Dad,
like
Casey,
on the
like
stove.
this is Jill, and they're like, oh, nice to
I
meet
almost
you.
said Barry. This is not Barry. Come on. Come here.
Oh, cat.
Come here. Don't do that. You'll burn your paws off.
Oh.
So
The
he
cat
had
was on the
Playboy
stove.
magazine?
Okay, yeah. So we literally come in. We're in the house for like 5 minutes. We're like, oh, Dad, Casey, this is Jill. They're like, hi, here's $10. Can you go to the store real quick and pick up some pop and juice there for dinner? And we're like, yeah, sure, okay. And then we went to the store. We picked up pop. We picked up juice. And we got back to the house and like immediately they're like, oh, okay. Dinner won't be ready for a while. Why don't you guys just go chill in your room? And I'm like, a 16, 15, 16,
No, we were 16.
16-year-old boy. I'm like, you want me to bring my girlfriend to my bedroom
Alone?
alone? And Dad was like, yeah, we'll tell you when dinner's ready. Just go chill in your bedroom for a little bit. Just go show her your bed. Fred, bring her to your bedroom. I'm like, oh, okay. And then yeah, like literally as soon as we opened the door, my dad had sprawled Playboy magazines.
I didn't even know what to
Like-
expect. I just sat there
Wait, your
and I
dad
was
did
like,
it to friend you?
Yeah.
okay,
Oh, what
I
an
feel
asshole.
like he's one of these people. We'll just go with it. I
Yeah.
don't know what to say at this point. And he's
Oh
like
my
freaking out, like,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm like
just putting
I'm like
them all
throwing my
away.
backpack on them and like I thought it was just the one. I'm like,
You put
nice.
them like up too, like
Yeah.
on the shelf, so you were just taking them down. You're like,
Yeah.
what is all this stuff?
I was looking down and I saw the one magazine. I'm like, oh shit! So I threw my backpack on it, and then I look up and he had like three of them on my
more.
bed, like a bunch on my dresser and stuff like that.
Oh my god,
Those
dude,
were
my
some
dad
good
never.
times.
My dad wouldn't do shit like that. My dad's too prim and proper.
That's something my dad would do. I feel.
100%. Your dad would have put like Playboy just to like fuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like oh.
Remember
okay.
meeting my parents for the first time?
Super nervous, super quiet.
I mean, my mom threatened to cut your dick off a string.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
She
Okay,
took
you gotta
out the
tell me
roll of
this.
string, and she
Yeah.
came out, and she was
Like
like,
fishing line.
No, like
No.
cooking wire that you like roll like a roast
fabric
in.
string. She came out of the kitchen, and she's like, if you get my daughter pregnant, I will cut your fucking dick off.
Oh my
And I was
god.
like, oh my
What a
god.
warm welcome into the family.
Yeah,
Hi, Fred.
He's
Fred
never
name's
gonna
so
want to
so.
come back to
Fuck
my
daughter.
house.
Kill your kid. It's like okay.
16-year-old boy already on the brink of suicide. Just because that's how 16-year-old boys are.
I don't
Hangry
think
and
all
horny all
16-year-old
the
boys
time.
are.
Oh,
You'd be surprised. The sad life we've been living.
yeah.
Suicide.
Like male puberty is just you're just angry and horny all the time. That's
And you're angry because you can't not be horny,
yeah.
and nothing satisfies.
And it's kind of like the not being allowed to be horny is kind of what turns you on.
It's like a forbidden fruit.
Yeah, the danger of it, right?
God, you sound like we're going to war.
Dude, ours. This makes mine and yours not seem that bad.
Why?
I was scared of meeting your mom because I drove from
My
Regina.
parents
I
were
drove.
easy.
Yeah, I drove. What 34 hours, with a 2-hour break to take a sleep. But I ended up having like a 20-minute nap and tried again.
4 hours.
Yeah, I was driving from Regina, and I got all the way to your house, and it was like 6, maybe 5 in the morning, something like that.
6:30.
I just show up to your mom's house.
Oh my god.
I go to her, go in, and her mom's in the bathroom with that mask shit.
She was brushing her teeth.
And she had a mask on of some kind.
Like
Oh
a
my
face
God.
mask?
Yeah,
Like
like a face
like a
mask.
break
on it.
room.
She's
I
like,
didn't even
"Oh,
look at her. I just walked.
Hi! I
by.
was just like, hello. Hi, I'm Jacob. Like, oh yeah,
Jacob's
Victoria
like
told me all
thinking,
about
this
you.
is
I was
how I
like,
die.
okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm gonna go sleep in the same bed as your daughter now. Like, the weirdest, most uncomfortable first meeting ever.
Yeah, but it's a little bit because you guys were like
Older.
adults when you
Yeah.
started
That's
dating.
true.
Like
Children.
it's different. Like yeah, Jill and I were like in grade 10, high school.
True. I was
Ew,
only
imagine
22.
we started dating in high school.
Ew.
Wow, was Jacob gross in high school?
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, I only met you 2 years ago.
Yeah, I would have been 23.
I would've
Yeah,
been
so like
22.
there's like different standards from like starting a relationship as adults and starting a relationship as like
So you're
children.
saying I have no standards?
No,
I am.
I'm just
Have you
saying-
seen Fred?
Oh.
I'm just saying the game plan is different when you start a relationship from those two different ages.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Like
But it still doesn't make it any less awkward to be parents at 22 or 16.
And considering it was like the first time we'd seen each other in like what, 8
Almost
months?
a year. Yeah.
yeah, because you guys sort of did long distance for a little bit.
No, we nailed long distance.
We
for
did
8
long
months.
distance for a while.
Like, were you like officially in a relationship while being long distance? I thought you guys waited till you were.
I only opened up to you, I'd say, within weeks before leaving. And then it kind of got serious. I think 2 weeks before I left, and then we really started hanging out. And then while I was gone, we'd text on, like, every time I had Wi-Fi, because I didn't have a phone plan at the time, so I was fucking a mess back then.
So you needed Wi-Fi.
So I
to
needed
text
Wi-Fi to get Text Plus, text her at any chance I could. And then I finally get there. And you guys Skypes each other all the time, text each other constantly, shit like that.
Yeah.
And
But
now we live together,
officially-
and I hate seeing it. No, I'm just kidding.
But officially, a year ago, we were dating, and you were still living in Barrie.
That's true.
Yeah. So you guys still did like Jill and I.
Even
did-
long
So
distance.
we would have done it from
even-
August to April,
So it was over a year.
because we moved in together in April.
Yeah, because Jill and I didn't do like official long distance until we already graduated high school, and she moved to Toronto for school, and I stayed back a year because I'm bad at making decisions, and I didn't want to go to
And
college.
you guys
I was
had
very
dated
indecisive
for
back then.
how
Yeah,
long
I was
before
super
you left?
indecisive.
Like 3 years?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you
so
guys
we-
were in a serious
You guys,
relationship.
how long you guys? 8
We were
years?
not,
something like
like,
that now?
7
years.
7 years. We're just got our anniversary.
It's actually really weird that we had such a good long distance relationship.
Like at the start of it.
Yeah, because we weren't dating prior, and I had only known you for like a couple
We didn't
months
even
prior.
date technically until like 2 months after I came back to Barrie.
Yeah.
So like we went long distance from half a country away to long distance 3 hours away from each other, and then only 2 months after living 3 hours away from each other, I finally was like, let's
Yeah, and you guys just like immediately moved in together. You went from long distance to living
I was there
together.
for another 4 months.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, she was in Sudbury, you were in Barrie. Like, you guys pretty much only ever did long distance, seeing each other every now and then, and then just went straight to living together.
Well,
Yeah,
it
so
was
like we lived in the
every
same
weekend.
city in separate places.
Every single weekend you made the
We did
drive,
that.
though.
Yeah.
I think I took the bus once to come see you.
Yeah, like,
You
Yeah.
made the trip every weekend, if not every weekend, every other weekend,
Yeah.
for months.
so, like, Jill and I kind of did the same thing, whereas, like, because when we both lived in Toronto, we still lived far from it. Like, I lived in North York and she lived in Scarborough. So, like, it was one of those, like, we'd see each other 1 or 2 days a week, but, like, we would see each other, like, every weekend.
We were both in the
Mhm.
GTA, though.
Yeah,
Just
but
on opposite
But
ends.
they had to take the bus to each
The-
other.
the subway-
Literally,
the subway
I timed
mostly.
It took 2 hours
Yeah.
for me to take the bus to his
yeah,
place.
we both lived
That's
in
fuck all.
Like-
You ever tried 3?
that
Driving
Damn
would have
it,
been
you
doable.
that extra hour is taxing on the psyche.
Yeah, exactly.
No, once you do it a bunch of times, it becomes nothing.
Yeah, it honestly just becomes second nature.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
up to the point where it's like the last 20 minutes on either way, I'd start to get sleepy just because I was so used to doing the whole thing.
Mm.
And then it's finally like, oh, the end's finally here. And then you get tired. And you're like, fuck.
well,
Now I
like,
gotta wake up and then have a full day.
like there was a couple of times where like Jill and I just wanted to spend that extra day together. So like I would literally leave her house and then go to York, like in the morning and go to class. So I'd have to get up like super early to go 2 hours to get to York, and then I just go from her house straight to class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I did that for work. Once? When I had... No, I wasn't. I missed work. That's right. I came and I missed many days of work, actually.
And there were a lot of times where I'd go for the weekend, and then I'd have class like Monday, Tuesday, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't leave till Tuesday.
Yeah. You shouldn't leave till like Tuesday
Yeah.
evening.
I'd be
Missed
like,
Monday,
oh.
Tuesday. Dude, I'm surprised you passed all your classes.
I'd be
honestly.
like, oh, don't worry.
It was
Like,
very frequent. Like,
I'd be like,
Oh,
oh, I'll
wow.
stay Sunday night. I'll just get up super early, like Monday morning, and just go
Oh, yeah,
straight
that's-
to class.
that's what everyone
Never
thinks.
did.
No.
Well, mind
Monday
you,
would
like
come and I'd be like, I'll just stay another day.
I'm like
Yeah.
compulsive at being on time for things. So like
Ah.
even though it was a 2-hour travel from Jill's house to class, like I would still like leave like 4 hours before class started.
Mhm.
Especially since like most of the time you can't really trust the Toronto transit because you never
Yep.
know.
I
You
thought
never,
they
you never
were
know what's
super-
gonna
I thought
happen.
they were super punctual.
Yeah,
Well,
but Fred has
no.
like the worst luck with subway
They're not,
systems.
especially since I'm particularly unlucky with the subway.
Every time we would go on a trip anywhere, something would happen on the subway line.
Yeah.
We'd get there
Yeah.
and there'd be a closure, and we'd have to wait like 2 hours.
Every time.
That sucks.
There's never been a time where I took the subway to catch a plane and something happened to like make me late or almost late,
Mhm.
which is another reason why I would compulsively leave so early because I just had like zero trust in the trains because something always happened.
Yeah. Which is fair.
And
It's
it
probably
only
a
happened
good-
to me when I went traveling with you.
Yeah, and the only time it ever happened to Jill is when we were both going.
You're
Like I wasn't even
cursed.
going on the plane; I was just going with Jill to drop her off at the airport.
It was hell. It was hell.
And then then there was one other time where
We came back together.
we were we were super late getting to the airport, and then the line was super long, and then we got to the kiosk,
yeah.
like basically just being like, just already committed, like we missed our flight, like can we
All-
can we rebook, can we get a refund, can we get anything? And then we got to the kiosk, they're like, oh, your flight was actually delayed, like you're on
Yeah.
time.
She's like, it
And
was
we-
That's
delayed for 3
perfect.
Like
hours.
I was
You
literally,
have time.
I was like trying to get a hold of my mom. I was like, oh fuck, like
Mommy.
we missed this plane. I was like, there's because like
We tried. We took an Uber,
yeah, that was.
and then from the Uber, we took the subway because we lived really far. And then the subway line got. I forget what happened. Was the subway line was closed for
It was
construction or
just
something?
slow. I find no. It was the shuttle bus from
Oh,
the train station to the
yeah.
airport that took forever.
Forever.
Yeah, and like I was trying to get a hold of my mom because like by the time we got to the kiosk, like our flight was supposed to leave like an hour and a half ago,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, your plane actually leaves in 30 minutes. It was delayed."
No, it was 3 hours.
So you lucked the fuck out.
We absolutely did.
It's the only
I've
time
never,
I've ever had trouble
ever
flying.
happens. It's always the opposite. Ooh! I don't even know an example there. But I know people never get, like, even if you're, like, on time, which is, what, 2 hours early? There's
Oh,
always something that
like
happens
that,
Well,
that fucks it up.
It's really weird because like
It's
the
just with him though.
like the Timmins Airport says to be an hour early to be on time. The Billy Bishop
2 or
Airport,
3.
like the Billy Bishop Airport, tells you to be there 30 minutes early.
No, I would...
'Cause, like, there's
I've
so-
been on 2 flights in my entire life, and I was, like, 4 hours early for both of them.
Oh yeah.
They're stupid early. Your friend recently had a... She went for her plane for a trip to a wedding.
Yeah, it was Naomi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Naomi
And,
was going to. We used to have a manager at the theater that was dating one of the TLs, and they were getting married in September. No, in August. It's not even September yet.
It's September 1st
And
at time of recording.
True. Yeah, so they drove to Toronto. It was Naomi, Kaylee Mulligan, Alex Raboni, and Jasmine. And they drove to Toronto to catch their plane to go to Winnipeg. And they're like, oh, your plane's been delayed for like 6 hours.
God.
Oh.
So they waited. And then it got delayed again. And then again. And they're like, yeah, we're just straight up canceling it. So they couldn't even
Oh
go.
my God.
Yeah.
I'd be so upset.
That was
Did
actually
they get
the
any
weekend-
kind of
I'd be so
compensation
upset.
for it?
Well, you get refunded.
They got their ticket refunded.
Oh.
And this was actually the weekend we were at the Valve Music Festival.
Oh.
And we were trying desperately, like, just fuck it, buy a day pass. Come fucking see us. Come hang out. Come meet us hotel. What did they even end up doing? Just
I
go
don't
home?
know.
Did
They
just go
stayed
home?
for the whole weekend. But they were told that they could go, but they'd have to pay like $1,000 each to
Jesus.
go or
Fuck
something.
that.
like
Are you
that.
serious?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
normal
my
people
God.
can't just do that.
Yeah.
That'd be way, like,
Let me
With-
just throw $1,000
Yeah.
away.
Well, I got a
Like,
couple
it's
grand to
that
just
big.
burn.
I don't
We just
finance
light
for
this
shit
on
like
fire.
that. I don't plan for an extra $1,000 on a weekend trip.
See, like I plan ahead for things, but I never plan for emergencies. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I'll
that
make a
happens.
plan and I'll save up for that plan. But if anything goes off
Yeah.
that plan, I'm fucked.
He's like, okay,
Yeah,
we're not
I'm the
doing it
same
now.
Like, I will plan for that to go perfectly. That weekend's gonna be smooth as hell. And for some reason, the Quinlan gene works.
You
and
don't-
I barely have to do anything, and everything just goes off without a hitch.
You don't
When I start
plan.
dating you, everything goes wrong.
You don't plan
Wow.
anything.
She has what
The truth
she calls the
comes out.
Soluski curse.
The Soluski curse.
It's a real thing.
And it's serious. Like, everything just happens to fall into place for me, and I don't really have to put much effort into things.
See,
and
I,
then it just happens.
see, I used to
Opposite
feel the
for
same
her.
way about myself because, like, even though like the TTC would like fuck me over on a regular basis, like I was never actually like late or actually missed anything, but I just got like a really good scare on
Like,
my way to the
we
thing.
would be so stressed.
Yeah.
And then you'd get there and it was like, oh, you have all this time. And we're like, what?
Yeah, it would just
We went through this stress for nothing.
like it reminds me of like, do you guys watch Archer?
Yes, I
just
have.
talking
Up
about
till
that.
the Miami Vice
Oh,
season.
okay, well,
5 or 7.
Season 10 just came out and Jill and I watched
You need to
all of it
watch
today.
this
But,
But like
season.
I
It's
forget
so
I
good.
forget when it is, but like there is a point where like Archer like has this thing. He's like, you know what? I don't even think I can die. It's just like
Yeah.
he's like he's like he has no concept of his own mortality.
Yeah, like a god complex.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like things just work out. I don't think I actually could die.
I had
And then
that
he
for a
does.
while. When I was like 16.
You're
Everyone
like, how
does.
far can I test
Yeah, how far
this?
can I push this?
Oh
shit?
yeah, like
When
when
am I gonna die?
like I went through a summer where I'd go like roof running with my friends.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
my
that shit
God.
like that.
And like try the parkour, but it was basically just us climbing up a singular building and chilling on the roof.
From Tim
until-
there was only one building to climb.
Jumps over one rock.
Literally.
I'm doing parkour.
Or like we'd go to like the school bus like parking lot and like break into the school buses and like and
Oh
like
my god.
yeah and like
they did some
yeah
rebel shit.
and like steal like their napkins. And like,
Napkins out of a school bus. What fucking school bus do you have?
well well like no from like the driver's seat.
Oh my god,
Like-
you rebel.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but when you're like 14 years old,
That's
you're like
true.
oh
You stole stuff.
yeah.
That's true.
And I remember one time me and some of my friends
I just
were
want you to know that this is all being recorded. This is
Right.
evidence for your future trial.
I'm gonna call the cops right now.
God,
actually.
Yeah,
the
I-
Tibbetts
I have
police
them on
service shows
speed
up.
dial.
We're
Yeah.
taking him in, guys.
I was hanging out with some of my childhood friends whom I don't speak with anymore. But we had one friend who was from Barrie, I believe actually.
Nice.
His name was Devin. But we were playing hide and seek
Ew.
in the school bus
Is it
parking
Devin or
lot.
Dustin?
Oh, it was Dustin.
Ew, Dustin.
Wow.
fuck that guy.
Savage.
But yeah, no, we were playing hide and go seek in the school bus. No, we weren't. We were just fucking around in there.
Okay.
But
You sure now?
Somebody,
Semantics.
somebody did call the police.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Yes, that's happened
And-
a few times on me.
First time I've ever seen it. But a police officer rolled up in a 4-wheeler.
What?
Yeah.
That's
quad?
some Tim
In a quad.
shit right
That's
there.
some
Yeah.
like
That's
hillbilly
Timmons
hick
fuck.
shit
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
there.
But
Oh,
it was
God.
like, it was painted all like white and blue, like it had the police, like it was a police quad.
That's hilarious.
Okay, I'm
I want
sorry,
to
you're
move
not
out there and
helping
go to
us
police
out.
foundations, fuck. Just cruise around in a fucking 4-wheeler
Right.
all day.
But he bumped into me and two of my other friends, and Dustin was nowhere to be found.
Of course.
And he was like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're like, nothing." And like we're in the parking lot, like we're like literally like way down, like 10, 15 buses, like we're in the parking lot, and like we're just like, nothing. He's like, "What's your names?" We give him our names. He's like, "What's your addresses?" Because he wants to know if we're from around there. So that that's he wanted to know if we like went out of our way to go to this parking lot or not. And like he was like, "What's your addresses? Where are you from? Blah blah blah." And like he was just about like in the middle of like asking us for our phone number, and like Dustin just kind of turned the corner. He's like, "I fucking found you." And we're like, "What?" And he's all like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then the police officer was all like, "What are you guys doing here?" He's like, "Oh, we're just playing hide and seek." And he was all like, "Oh, well, you guys can't do that here." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, no problem, officer. Like, we'll leave right now. So sorry. Like, the gate wasn't locked, and, like, we just get really creative with hide and seek there because we just get bored." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, no problem. Go." And
Well,
he
then
just...
fucking Timmons, you gotta get creative.
Yeah. And the guy just left us alone, and we're like, "Dude, like, how'd you come up with that story?" And he's all like, "That was a very basic... Like, he was very, like, you guys are fucking stupid." Like,
Yeah.
Like, he was all
Y'all
like...
need to learn how to lie.
Yeah.
He's definitely on the run from the cops these days.
I got a few.
His
concepts,
grease
but-
mobile or something.
Yeah, and then we just like went back to like he was staying at his grandma's while he was visiting Timmins, and like we just go back to his house and freaking play Black Ops 1 Zombies.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
the good old days. Fuck.
Yeah.
Back in
And-
the day when there's like 80 pile in a fucking bedroom to watch two guys play Black Ops Zombies.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I got so embarrassed too because he was much better than me. Like
Of
like
course. Everyone's
much better. Like he was on a whole other level than me. Like I thought I was good because like one time I fluked the Kino der Toten map and I made it. Yeah, and I made it to like round like 85 on solo. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm like the
But did
best."
you beat it though, or are you progressing to finishing it, or you just survived that?
No,
one?
I just found a system that worked. Like
yeah.
I was
so you
like,
weren't going to finish and beat the level. You're just
no, I just wanted
surviving.
to. Yeah, I was just surviving. I'm like, "Oh, if I hit the teleporter at this time, I can funnel them all into this
Yeah.
into this crooked little alleyway there. I can just mow them all down." I just did that for like almost 4 hours, and like I was so proud of myself. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like
That
the
game-
best at zombies
That
because
could
I was."
take forever.
I know it
really
did.
could.
I
But
don't
yeah.
have the patience.
So like I had like this
No.
overwhelming confidence of like, "Oh yeah, like I can just I rock at zombies." And it's like, "Cool, man, like I brought my PlayStation 2 or 3 with
Yeah.
me." And I was like, "Okay." And then like he had all the DLC maps that I was not familiar with. And yeah, like I was getting down at like round 3. And like he was just carrying the hell out of me to the point where like it just became this joke of like, "I'm not resurrecting you." So like the match would restart.
Die.
Yeah.
If he dies, he dies.
Literally, so
He
like
did.
the match would restart. I'm just there with like a pistol.
Yeah.
I get down in like the first 20 seconds, and then he just do the whole round.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, please, like, help me."
I want to play.
And he's like, "No, if I help you, like, I'm gonna die too." I was like, "But this isn't getting fun anymore." And
Every
he's
man
all,
for himself.
Oh.
Oh, video game.
I have a fun cop story.
Cop story.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I got my wisdom teeth removed when I was
Interesting start.
19. Yeah. It's I don't know. This only comes into play later. So I got my wisdom teeth removed. The day of actually, like we came home from getting my wisdom teeth removed. I was so groggy from all the shit.
Okay.
And my mom had to go out and get groceries or whatever the hell she was doing. And so she called. She asked me, "Is like, what friend of yours like, someone needs to come babysit you, so I can leave."
How
like,
fucked were you?
I was because I don't like it. Because
like-
like me up on heart, like they put me under. Like I had 4 teeth removed.
Yes. When
So
I got my
I was-
wisdom teeth removed too, I got put to sleep, and I was fine after like the first 20 minutes.
No. I was hours later.
I-
Hours later,
Were
she
you
dropped me off like all the way from the dentist home, like 20 minutes, and then my friend showed up 20 minutes later after that.
Oh wow.
And then I think I had like an hour's nap or something like that. And then I woke up, I looked at my friend, and I was still kind of like, I was a little high off the drugs still. So I woke up and I was like, "Dude, let's go party, dude."
Let's-
And
my
it turned
God.
out that all our friends were having a fucking party and they're going downtown and shit. We went and followed them, went downtown, we had a good time. I was still floating off the painkillers, and then I was drinking too. So like, I was very loopy.
Which is like, I think like the number one thing you're not
You're not
supposed
supposed
to
to
do.
do it at all. No,
Do not
it's
consume with
super,
alcohol.
Super bad.
That's
Yeah.
just testing to see if he's gonna die.
It's like
So
their
we-
catchphrase.
And then it just so happened that a bunch of us were wearing our like flannel button-up shirts. Looked nice to go downtown. Like the new bar just opened. We all went there, shit like that. And we left, and our friend lived almost a straight shot from downtown. So we just said, "Fuck it, we'll walk." It's like a 20-minute walk. Started walking, and then a police cruiser came by, and then he stopped middle of the road, pulled a Yui, pulled another Yui behind us,
Oh
put
my
his sirens
God.
on, pulled beside us. 2 more cop cars come and follow behind him.
What the hell?
Pull us over, if you want to call it. Like they come out of their
Stop
cars
you.
and start
Yeah.
talking to us. And like, hey, look, we're looking for a group of young adults who are wearing flannel t-shirts,
Oh my
and they're
God.
going around that's like disrupting people, like causing mayhem and mischief, and like banging on people's doors, throwing rock through windows, shit like that. Like
Is that
just
what you
being
were doing?
Absolute
Is
shit.
that, is that you?
We were in the club and we left and we're walking home. All this shit, and they get all of our names, and like I'm like one of the last people, and they're like radioing in all these names, like, oh no, nothing, and they get to my name, like, oh, Jake Quinlan. They're like, they go to the next 2, and then eventually you hear back in the radio, oh, Jake Quinlan. Oh yeah, we got a radio out on Quinlan. Is it Jacob Quinlan? He's like, white male. I was like, yeah. Okay, and they bring me over to the cop car,
Oh,
and they like start questioning me, like, do you know you have a court order to like for sobriety? Like you cannot be drinking right now. I was like, I just went in for a dentist appointment. I didn't know I couldn't drink. Like, it was just wisdom teeth. It wasn't that
Did my
serious.
dentist call
And they
you?
brought me over. They cuffed me and put me on the hood of the car.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then my 2 friends came up and they're like, we've been with him like all week. Like we see him every day. Like he's never been to court. What are you talking about? They're like, are you his lawyer? Like,
Are you his lawyer?
No.
Yes.
And they literally looked us deadpan in the face and I was like, then fuck off. And I was just staring at them. I'm like, I'm getting arrested, man. Like, I'm in jail. I was like, I don't even know what I did.
Call
and I
my
was like
mom.
staring at him. I was like, my name's Jacob. Like, gave him my full name and shit. And I was like, just double check the middle name. And they're just like, they did it. They checked the name. And they're like, oh no, Jacob, he's a 37-year-old white male. I was like, oh, that's not me at all. Like, I am not that person. So it just so happened, I've never in my life met someone with the same last name as me, ever.
Until then.
And it
That's
turns
like
out
not
someone
related?
has the same first and last name as me, who's also a Caucasian male, who now has a warrant out for
Does
whatever
that
reason.
mean
And I
like
got
he
arrested.
lives in Barrie
He was
too?
living in Barrie.
That's
He was
terrible.
That's
in Barrie.
You need to like ask
That
your
was the
family about
coincidence
that.
level was wild.
Why the hell wouldn't they ask for your full name? Like,
Because
doesn't
they saw
all
like they
these
Fun
like, oh, we
fact,
all had
it's
to give a
your real
license,
dad.
so he just said first and last, and then like eventually I was just like, it's not me. Like,
There's so many
call my
people.
full name in, and they did, and then 5 seconds later, after telling my friends like get away from us, like you're not his lawyer, you're not like, and like scaring the shit out of me. There's like, oh, get away, like we don't need your input, like you are not his lawyer, you don't need to talk to you, we don't need to talk to you, you know nothing.
You're not
drunk
a part
idiot
of this.
kids.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
god.
And all this, and I'm just sitting there with handcuffs. I was like, fuck, my mom about to kill me, like all
I
this.
didn't even do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's
And I was fully convinced it's because I got my wisdom teeth out and they told me not to do anything
Because your
radical.
dentist ratted on
I'm
you.
sorry, but that, like-
I thought my dentist was ratting on me. I
See
was
you
like,
at
"You're
the
a
club,
fucking
calls
narc."
911.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
excuse me,
That's-
this rogue
I was like
patient
fully
over
convinced that's what it was, and my dentist was a narc. But yeah, no, it turns out it was some other guy.
They
could you imagine that was
definitely
just
should've
like
asked you for
just
your
like the
date of
normal
birth,
thing, they're like,
too.
oh, we just gave him a bunch of drugs, like let the police station know that this person
Yeah, like that's.
and like
I
that's
was,
just been the norm.
and I was so drugged up and stuff. Like I was fully convinced that that's the exact reason why. Because my dentist called me out on it.
Oh my
Like, oh,
god.
man.
Maybe like when they put you under, you were like talking in your sleep about like, oh, I'm getting fucked up tonight,
I'm gonna go get laid.
and just like yeah, just like talking all this shit, and the dentist's like, yeah, we're gonna have to let someone know. Like,
Oh,
Who knows? It could have been.
That's hilarious.
That would be terrifying.
I
It
don't
was
really have.
terrifying.
and
I
that
don't
that
really have any stories with cops.
We have one, but it's not like Jacob's pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no,
I
it was
don't have any like
pretty
Jacob's
awful.
love.
Oh, I got more.
I just, yeah, we have like one story, and it's just more so. Well, it's one of those that like the police officer was in the right, therefore they can be as much of a dick as they want.
But it was terrifying because we were like 19.
Was
Yeah,
I even
so was
19? Was I even 19?
No, you were 18. I
Yeah.
was the only one legally of age to drink.
Jill was
Oh my
19.
God.
I was 18, and it's our friends Lindsay and John who were both 18, and Jill, Lindsay, and John were all very drunk, and I was
very drunk.
I was the DD. I was driving everyone home,
I didn't get the chance to be very drunk.
and like
I've seen you very drunk, and it is great.
That
But yeah,
So
it-
fun time.
it must have been like literally like 12:30. Like it wasn't that
It
late.
wasn't that late, and Fred didn't put on his low beams, so this
Yeah.
cop pulled us over in a gas station and was like, "License and registration, please."
I gave him
So
expired.
we're trying to find the
insurance.
fucking
Oh.
insurance, and I'm like, "Dude, there's only expired insurance papers in here. Fuck, what do we do?" And then he's like, "Just give it to me. I'll give it to him anyway." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Okay." I'm like flinging through them. I'm like, "There's gotta be a right insurance paper in here." We find it. Fred's like, "I'm getting out of the car to go give it to him." We're like, "No,
No, don't
They're
leave
gonna
the
get
car.
I didn't know that
You
was a
could've got
thing.
shot.
That like
you
just by
open the door."
no, just
and
by
we're
leaving
like,
the car, like you get a ticket.
Yeah.
So like I literally have the door open. I have like a foot and a arm out of the door, and like Jill's like pulling me aggressively back into the car. I'm like, what? I'm just gonna go give it to him. I found the right insurance, and like I shut the door, and like he's immediately at the window. He's like, what? I'm like,
Holy fuck.
It
I'm
was
like,
really
yeah.
scary.
I'm like,
Some Sweeney Todd shit. Can I help you?
Surprise, motherfucker.
and he was. I was like, I got the right insurance paper, and he's like, oh, okay. And then he went back, and then he
I
came
didn't know
back.
that was a ticket.
Apparently it is. You get like arrested instantly like
Oh
that.
my.
Yeah.
If you have
Did it.
expired insurance papers?
No, if you
No, if you
get,
get out of the
car
vehicle.
after they pull you over.
I do that all the time. I don't even think I have
Yeah,
right ones in
Victoria,
there
we
now.
spent time in the sleigh.
But yeah, so then after that, he's like, because like it was my stepdad's information. He's like, "What's your stepdad's birthday? What's his name?" He's trying.
Yeah.
He's trying to make sure that like I have anything to do with
He's trying to
driving this
choke you
car.
up and
Yeah.
get you to fuck
Oh,
up.
it's scary.
And then, so he,
he's
like-
bad with remembering stuff, so he's like,
Yeah,
what is his
he was
All
like-
of
he was
this
like-
fuck. I barely remember yours.
He was like, he's like, when is Scott's
What?
birthday? And I'm like, I'm like, I have no clue. And then he walked. I'm like, oh wait, no, it was like a week ago. And he was like, okay, yeah, it was like a week ago. And then
It wasn't though, remember?
I forget whatever I said. It was
we
correct.
couldn't even remember. We
But
were
yeah.
like, I don't know, and then he goes back and he's like, oh, I know when it is. It's like April 25th. Well, fuck, it was April 26th at 1 o'clock in the morning, and he turns around and he's like, your license plates are expired.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding
Yeah,
me?
'cause
It's only
he-
expired for an hour.
Like he
What
leaned
do you want
over.
us to do?
He grilled Jill. He's like, "Where do you live?" So like she gave him her address, and he looked at John. "Where do you live?" He looked at Lindsay. "Where do you live?" And then he was like, and I told him like, "Look, I'm just being the DD right now. Like I'm just trying to get these people home."
And
He's
then
like, "Is everyone in the car of age?" And we're just like, "Yup."
No
and he-
open alcohol in the car? Nope.
Meanwhile, John had like a sippy cup.
It's just juice, I swear.
We had
No,
Wide
he
open.
tucked it under the seat, but he had like a sippy cup that he was drinking out of in my back seat. And then he's
Oh
like,
my God.
okay. He's like, Timmins is a small town. It's not hard to like know the whole layout of the town, right? So he's like, all right, I now know where everyone lives. I have a rough idea of where you're driving tonight. If I see you anywhere that doesn't make sense with the addresses you gave me, I will pull you over again. I'll give you a ticket. I went, okay. And he's like, oh, and also your license plate expired 45 minutes ago.
And then he was
No.
like, side note, you only have a G2, so you're not even supposed to be driving past 12 o'clock. And we were
Oh
like,
yeah, I
dude,
forgot
what do
that
you want us
existed.
to do? The rest of us are fucking drunk.
I just kept saying that. I'm like, I'm the DD. Like, I'm trying to get these people home. I think that was probably the saving grace. Because I just kept saying, like,
Yeah.
I'm the DD. Like, I'm the designated driver. Like,
So,
Yeah.
well, like, no headlights being on turned into this traumatic experience of us going,
and then I got...
Some,
And then the next day, I told my mom all about it, and she's like, I never gave you permission to take the car last night. So then I got grilled from my mom the next
you're like,
day.
fuck, I should have been
Dude.
arrested.
This-
Damn it, it would have been safer in the slammer.
that reminds me of another story. Okay, so I was with Big Joe
Yeah.
and a bunch of our friends, and there was 6 of us, and he only had a Toyota Corolla.
Fuck.
Oh no.
And our friends' parents, like, they're the parents, so you give them the money and they'll go buy the booze. So the back seat, the trunk was full of booze, like a bunch of 2-4s and like all that, liquor and all that. And I was sitting in the back seat, wrapped around a bunch of booze, and I'm sitting in the trunk. Sorry, not the back seat, the trunk. And he's driving. All I hear is whoop whoop, and I'm sitting there in the trunk,
Oh my god.
shitting my pants. And you know, if you ever been in an old car, you can see through the cracks, you have the
Wait,
metal
you're in the
part.
trunk?
I'm inside the trunk, and you can see through certain cracks. Like, I don't remember what, but there was like this little tiny sliver I could see through. And I look, I'm like, please God, don't be us. There it is, the cop is directly behind us, pulling us over. Meanwhile, there's a car full of fucking like 16-year-olds.
Oh,
Half of
no.
them are drunk. one of them's drive, like, oh, it was brutal. Pulls us over, same shit. It was like a taillight was out or something.
Oh no.
And he pulls them out of the car because obviously some of them are like drunk and they're like being loud and idiots. And he pulls them out of the trunk and stuff. He starts talking to them. I'm just watching the whole thing through this crack in the trunk. And I'm just like...
Controlling breathing.
Trying not to die.
Like, I was like trying my hardest.
Just like tapping into every ninja movie you've ever seen.
Exactly.
To, like, just
I
be
was
like, I can
was
do
holding-
it.
I don't know what it did, but I held my thumb to stop my gag reflex. Like, I was anything that could help, I was doing. I was watching this all go down, and I swear to God, at one point he pointed to the trunk. I couldn't really hear them because the fucking they got muffled. He pointed to the trunk, and I honestly almost pissed. I was like very close to peeing my pants, like in a full serious. Like I was like, oh, stop, stop that right now. Got away with. I think he got a warning.
Oh my
Luckily.
God.
But like he was a second away from like he like walked right up beside the trunk at one point. I was just like, oh, fuck. Somehow my
Even
friend kept his
explain
cool.
that too,
He had his
right?
composure. He done all the right shit. And I'm just sitting in the truck, just drive away, drive away. Please God, drive away. Like just leave us alone.
See him in the,
Oh.
open the trunk. Hello.
I was honestly like, what am I gonna say if he opens the
It's
trunk?
like, hello.
Buongiorno.
Would you like a beer?
I'm a foreigner. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Just like immediately just opens the
throw in an
trunk.
accent. I don't know.
He just opens the trunk. You just go, whose car is this?
They're trying to kidnap
Yeah.
me.
Like, oh my
Throw
God.
all your friends
Every
under the
single
bus.
one of them under the bus to get myself free.
Thank God. Thank
I
God.
have to file like criminal courts cases against all of them
Yeah.
just to not get a ticket.
In the trunk.
I
Had to
lost a
drink-
lot of friends that day.
Had to drink the beer to survive.
I was dehydrated, so I drank.
I had no choice.
I drank about
officer.
80 some odd beers.
Can you get? Is there any like water or anything that could hydrate you that is in beer? Like any byproduct in
Why-
beer?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. it
could you
just also
hydrate
s-
yourself? Because alcohol dehydrates you.
I think
That's
that's,
true.
the alcohol. I think it's there's a lot of water in it, is there not?
I don't
check.
know.
We're googling
I'll
it.
check. Let me Google that real quick. That's a good question.
How much water?
It's in alcohol.
Not in alcohol, but in beer.
In beers.
I would like. The only thing in alcohol is alcohol.
That's true.
And
Yeah, the quality of brewing mixture is extremely important because beer is about 90 to 95% water.
Huh.
I think it's not the water, it's the alcohol that dehydrates you,
Well,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
obviously. But, and I think that's how you get drunk, isn't it?
Yep,
It's the
yep, yep.
dehydration.
Well, that's one of the
Yeah.
symptoms. Like that's one of
You're
the.
basically poisoning yourself, essentially.
Well, yeah, that's why the old fucking jugs had the XXX on it.
Mhm.
Poisonous.
We need one of those.
Do you
I
think-
want one
do
of
you
those so bad.
I don't think the XXX jokes were ever real. I think that's just like a cartoon.
Well, I
God
based
bless
my
you.
life off cartoons, Fred. Learned to love it.
Crush my hopes
Life
and
imitates
dreams,
art.
man.
Oh. Whole lot of dead air right now.
No, not really. I can keep going with cop stories if you want.
Oh,
I got a few.
Oh.
I was a little
Goes
fucking.
through
I was a
his
fucking
list.
hood rat.
It's only happened to me once. I was going to the bar. I was like 19, and our friend
Well,
was
hopefully.
driving. Yeah.
At least.
Minimum.
So there was like 3 of us in the back seat, 1 person in the front, and then obviously the guy driving. So all 4 of us are drunk, minus the guy driving. And we were pulling off a street. We all had like cups of alcohol because no one wants to buy alcohol at the bar. Too expensive.
Pre-drinking in the car on the way.
Anyways, we all got them. Like
Yes.
we're all sitting there, and we pull off the street. Literally 2 seconds off the street, the guy driving spins his tires. So he like does a burnout.
Oh.
And then
Oh, no.
right around the corner was a spot check. So we're like, holy fuck. So like all of us are like, what do we do with our cups of alcohol? Like I'm pretty
Drink.
sure some of us just had like Mickeys. Like they weren't
Oh,
even
no.
like covered. So we're like, do we chuck them? Like what do we do? And they're like, no, don't chuck them out the window.
No.
It's too precious.
So the guy comes
You
up
put
and,
it behind your feet and you put your feet against the back.
Yep.
yeah, but we were
Unless they ask
19.
you to
Like
get out
we
of the
were
car.
new to
I
it.
knew this at 16.
Oh.
I've had many run-ins with the law.
Remember
I
that
didn't
in the
drink
trunk, Victoria?
Anyways, so he comes up and he's like, you burnt your tires out, like, he's like, where are you going? And the guy's like, oh, I'm just DDing them to the bar. And then he pulls up his flashlight and he's like, to the bar, eh? And we're like,
Oh, to the
yeah.
Oh shit.
So it's like tucked in, like underneath my legs, like my friend Riley has hers like behind her back, so we're sitting like this, and then we're like, yeah, we're just going to the bar.
You got through it, no problem.
Yeah.
So you gotta bring it. Like,
He's like,
I was-
don't burn your tires.
That was like the one time with a police interaction I ever got arrested. It wasn't really an arrest. It was a court date? Got a court date. And it was like a Tuesday. And I used to be a big stoner back in high school. I'd smoke a lot of weed. And like me and two of my friends, Luke and Doug, you know them, we were all up. We were all playing video games. We all saw that we were all online together. So we were all texting each other like, oh, dude, let's go smoke, whatever. We go and we meet up at this, like, it's called the Pit back in Barrie.
Yeah,
And it's
like
this-
every town
that
has the Pit.
Yeah, so
yeah,
we went to the
used
Pit.
party at the Pit.
And it was at like 3:30. We met up, and then by the time we got there, it was 4. We got our stuff ready, all this, and then we see car lights coming in the background,
Oh,
and it was just slowly cruising. And I was just like, I don't know who that is. I don't care. I'm driving. At this point, we hadn't even smoked. Like, we just put the water in the bong. Like, we had done, nothing was ready. We hadn't even grind our weed yet. Like, we were just sitting there. And I was like, just let me drive with the lights. Like, I'll leave the e-brake up 1 click, so my lights are off, and I know this place in the back of my hand. I can just drive through the fucking road. Like, it's fine. Just let me do this. And they were both just like, no, that's a cop. It's evading arrest, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's criminal charge. I'm like, yes, but there's no sirens. I can't see them. It's pitch black. I have I have plausible deniability. All this shit. And they're like, if you leave, I will tell them that I told you it was a cop. Like, all this shit. They're like, fuck. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to sit here like a fucking fish in a barrel. Anyways, this cop, and then you finally see the searchlight they have. I see that go off, and I'm literally putting it into drive. I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm going. They're like, don't do it. You'll get arrested and go to jail. And I was like, shit. Okay, like I guess I'm sitting here like this sucks. And he pulls up, and he pulled up, and this it was like a chief, not a chief, like it was a higher up sergeant kind of thing.
Yeah,
And he
like
had
a
a rookie with him.
Training?
So he
no.
Yeah.
If he's training someone, he's gonna
Yeah,
do whatever.
you're done.
Exactly.
He's gonna
He
give
has
this
to go
guy a
buy
learning
the book.
experience.
Anyway, so he comes up to the window, and he's like, "Hey, what are you guys up to this day? Like this evening or morning, whatever it is?" And I was just like, I was so close to just being like, "We're all gay. We want to have sex." Like I was literally
Please leave.
that was the
parents don't
only
approve.
thing in my head I could think of. It's like my parents are super religious and we're all gay. We want to have an orgy. Sorry. Like, that was the only thing I could think of that would just be like, fuck, okay, fuck, I'm leaving.
Just
like,
give them a snap reaction, be like, let's leave.
yeah, exactly.
Now.
Like, and that popped in my head. And then he asked, he's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing this morning?" And my friend Doug, and this is in the court documents, he pops his head up between us. He goes, "We're smoking marijuana, officer." And I just sat there and I was just like,
my
fuck. Just gripped the steering wheel, looked straight forward. It's like, shit. I'm like, I'm driving. Like, we haven't even smoked yet, but like, there's shit everywhere. And he's just like, oh.
Okay.
Okay, like, thanks for being super honest. Like, that was really polite of you. I appreciate it. Doug's like,
Here's
no
the
worries.
ticket.
My Doug's like, no worries, this is Canada. I was like, shut up, Doug. Like, why the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, honestly, just because you guys are like, that was all the conversation. He's like, you guys are so like straightforward. I appreciate that. If I didn't have a trainee with me, I'd give you a warning. And he's like, have you guys even smoked yet? I was like, no, we just got here. And he's like, I feel so bad because like if in literally any other circumstance, like this is the one day I'm doing the training with him. He has like different people he follows. He's like, if I wasn't training him today, you guys would have been scot-free. He's like, I would have given you a warning, told you to go home. That would have been it. And he's like, but the fact I have a rookie with me, I have to sign you up or write you up and all that. And so we brought him out.
How it's done.
Exactly, brought him out, and he had to write us all court dates.
Oh fuck.
The time of arrest, 4:20 a.m. I fucking saw that because I had the court document. Like I had the documents that I needed to go to court, and I didn't read it for like 2 weeks. And I hid it under my mattress because I couldn't let my mom find it.
Oh my god.
And I had to skip school to go to my court date, so I really couldn't let my mom find it.
Oh my god.
And like I said, I was a stoner back then, and my mom was fully aware. So like she would go into my room every once in a like a blue moon and just like, oh, can I find any of his weed and get him in shit? Like she'd scour through my room, and then
That's
the
something
thing she
neither of my
finds.
parents ever did, was go through my room.
My mom goes to church 3
Mine
times a
neither,
week,
actually.
so it's
Yeah.
very different.
Like, I was able to hide stuff in pretty plain sight in my bedroom, and neither of my parents ever questioned me.
yeah, okay. Oh, that's the one thing I forgot is because she was talking about hiding shit the entire time, and he asked for all our stuff.
And meanwhile, all three of us have our own. You buy Altoids, you empty out the Altoids, you wash out the tin, you put your weed in there because a metal tin is very easy to like hide the smell.
Mhm.
So we all had our own Altoids tin. And we had this lunch pail. It was an Angry Birds plastic lunchbox, and it had the papers. It had one of those like rollers in it, all this, and a little bit of weed in it. So we just gave him that, and he's like, "Is all you guys got?" We're like, "Yep." He's like, "Okay, thank you. Like you guys are like super easy. Like honestly, like you guys are like probably the easiest I've ever had to deal with." They're like, "Yeah, no worries." Like.
Well, that helps.
We also want to just get the hell out of here. I want to go home right now.
Well, like how
'Cause you're
like
having a panic
how
attack.
I was
complacent.
losing it.
That's scary.
Well, plus one thing that helped you out since he was writing you up anyways, like your level of honesty and complacency, like
Exactly.
probably helped you out in court too.
And I was going to fucking do that whole gay thing until Doug said that. And if he didn't, I literally would have said it. I'd be like, "We're all gay. Our parents don't approve. We have to meet out here. Sup?" Like,
You're
he.
cute.
Are you single?
You want in?
Mr.
Do you want to try
Handsome?
it?
No, and Doug probably saved their asses because I would have gotten shit because he would have found out real quick that we weren't gay.
Well,
Yeah,
But,
you would have been like, oh, okay.
The entire time.
could
I
you
found
imagine
out-
that? Well, if like the police officer knocks and he's all like,
Drop
"What's
pants
going on?"
right
And you're like,
now.
"Oh,
Drop
Okay,
trouse,
take
suck a
a
dick.
picture of
Prove it
the
to me
guy.
right
Yeah.
now.
Do it right
He
now.
has his phone out.
prove it! I
ready
want to
to
see
go.
y'all kiss right now."
The whole
Oh my
thing that
God.
saved us though is Doug had a $300 glass Haas bong in between his legs, and he was standing like the base is flat and then it's a straight shooter, standing on the base, sitting like this. We're smoking marijuana all this entire time. He had this 2-foot glass bong between his legs, sitting like this, super
Oh
prim
my
and proper. And then he had that. I had 2 grams on me. He had like 6. Our buddy had like 1, so he gave him his 1 gram
Yeah.
with the case of all like the papers and all that shit.
Yeah.
The entire time, and all this shit happens. We leave, and Doug just whips out the bong, and goes, "Hey!" Starts shaking it in the rearview mirror, and I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot we even had that." I was so fucking panicked.
Was it packed?
Yeah, it was full with water. It had a bowl ready to go. Like it was all good to go. I was like,
Oh
dude,
my God.
we dodged a bullet, and he smoked the fucking thing on the way home. I was like, oh my
Yo,
god,
he's
dude.
ballsy.
Doug does not give a fuck.
He was
You guys
savage.
would like Doug.
He's like, fight me about it. We're smoking weed, man.
Yeah, Doug's good shit. Yeah, it was Doug and Luca. They're good friends of mine in Bay.
Oh, he's so happy.
See, I
Alright,
never.
someone top that.
No.
No,
I mean, I
no.
could.
Oh,
but-
actually, no. The worst part didn't even come yet. I went to court and
Did you cry?
My stoner self. No, I didn't do my community service. They both had 20 hours, and I had 40 hours because I was
Because you were the
driver's
driver.
seat.
Oh, shit.
And I didn't do it, but I had already contacted the head of the Georgian college, like the school I went to, and I was like, hey, like I'm a decent student, I think, and like I just happened to get caught smoking weed, and like I just really need help doing community service hours. So I talked to the chief of security in Georgian college, and he already had like this whole fucking like 2-page essay written out about how I'm
Oh
gonna
my
come
God.
do it on this day and this day, and like this is all the plan. And I brought it into my lawyer, like court-appointed lawyer, as the thing was going on. And my lawyer looks at it like for 2 seconds. He skims through both pages in like a split second. And in closing, he's like, Jacob Quinlan has completed his community service hours. And I just stood there. I was like,
Oh,
he's lying.
shit.
He's lying. I did not. I was not a part of this. I have the papers. And then the court just hits like the gavel or whatever it is, the hammer and gavel,
yeah.
whatever. And he's like, oh, court case dismissed, blah blah blah. Like it won't be on your, because I was 17 at the time actually. So I was
not
young.
it is
So
not
he
It was
doesn't
not
even
on my
remember.
permanent record, luckily. But yeah, and then I went out the courtroom and I asked the cop standing outside. I was like, I don't want to get in trouble later down the road because like I never finished my community service. Like I have the papers saying that I will.
Why are you being too honest with this police officer?
Authority scares me.
Doug inspired him.
Doug did inspire me. Doug inspired me to be a better person.
I feel like if you were to be like just like walking down the street one day and you bump into it, when I was 5 I strangled the cat.
I stole a piece of candy from Max one time. I'm so sorry. No, and I asked
Get
him,
ready
and he
in
was
the
like,
arrest position.
yeah, assume the
I'm
position.
ready.
No, and I asked him. I was just like, dude, like I never even started my community service, but I had the paper from the chief of like security at my school that I'm doing it. And he's like, did the judge say court dismissed or case dismissed? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, don't worry about it. I was like, but it was on a lie, and he's like, I don't give a fuck. I was like,
Dude,
Yeah, he's
takes
not the
he
lawyer.
literally, he's
Yeah.
just like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, cool, okay. Peace, I'm out. And then for the next 2 years, every time I saw a cop, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna pull me over. Because I was in the same fucking car the
They're
whole
looking
time.
for me.
Yeah.
They know.
I was very convinced that I was going to
They
get
found
arrested
me.
and they were going to go like fraud cases and shit.
Oh
like
my god.
I was terrible, and I'm still a stoner.
And you're just
Imagine-
admitting it right now online.
What's up, Officer McDreamy?
Imagine, like, when you got pulled over with your friends, like, leaving the bar, if that's why they were like, Jacob Quinlan, like, didn't complete his community service hours.
This
2
was
years
about a year
prior.
before that. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why you get arrested.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I don't have a lot of run-ins with.
Just those 2 stories for me
My
with
chest would
police.
explode if that happened.
I
Just me in the
have a
trunk.
bad one, but
Oh,
You
now
don't wanna talk
have
about
to
it?
tell us.
I don't know if I should.
Is it?
Is it what?
He said, "Do it."
Uh,
What? What
I don't
happened?
know.
What did you do?
I witnessed a crime.
Whoa.
Oh yeah,
and had
so
to
have
go, And had to go to court for it. I was
I. Oh,
like,
I never had to go to court.
That's because no one else would admit who shot the guy.
Yeah, I
oh,
was.
you've seen somebody get shot?
We
I saw
didn't-
somebody die.
We didn't see the person get shot, but we saw the body and we saw like the guy pass away.
That's way
Like,
worse
he-
than me.
And, like,
He was
we-
on the sidewalk bleeding out, and they're just there, and he calls me at 12:30 in the morning. He's like, "There was a shooting. I'm okay." And I'm
Well,
like,
okay.
Well, because like literally the reason why like I called everyone, so like we stepped outside after work and there's a huge commotion. Everyone's like, "Yo, there was like get inside, get inside. There was a shooting. There was a shooting." We're like, "What?" And then like we saw who we thought were the shooters like sprint because they just looked very suspect and they were like holding a bag and they were like running the opposite way from like where everyone else was running. So like after the fact, like me and the 2 guys I was with were like, yo, maybe those guys were the shooters. So then we approached the police officers to tell them about it and they ended up taking us into questioning and like we didn't get out of the police station until like 3-4 in the morning.
Oh my.
it
But
was definitely 4.
but like in the midst
I
of
made him
it,
text
I
me.
literally I called my dad, I called my mom, and I called Jill because my dad has this habit of like, I lived in North York, Toronto, right? If some shit went down in like Barrie, my dad would call me to ask me if I'm safe. So like,
Did you happen to be in Barrie? at
Yeah.
this
Is there any
exact
chance you're
moment?
3 hours away from home right now?
but yeah, so like if anything, like again, I live in North York, I go to school in North York, I worked in Dundas Square, and if something were to happen in like Brampton or like Scarborough
Yeah.
or like
That's just a
Etobicoke,
parents thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
My
So
mom
like,
would do the same shit.
so like I
Yeah.
saw this, and
My
I'm like,
dad would not.
I'm like, there's literally, I'm like, there's literally a shooting in Dundas Square. Like, they're gonna call me to ask me if I'm okay. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get out of the way. And I just called everyone. I'm like, I'm okay. If you hear about this, I'm fine.
Jacob's dad would be like, he'll call if he's dead.
Yeah.
He'll
That's
call.
exactly what he'd say. If he died, he'd call.
Yeah.
He
He'd let
wouldn't
me
leave me
know.
worried like this.
Yeah.
So you watched him die?
Yeah.
That's depressing as
That's
Well,
scary.
along
Mine
with
was
like
not that bad.
like the hundreds of other people that were around
Except
there.
they were the only ones who were like, I'll just go to the cop station.
We-
and
yeah,
tell
we-
them what
we
Your
were-
cop stories are a lot more depressing than mine. Mine are more fun and lighthearted.
I guess.
We
Do
see
yours have
scary
bad
people
endings?
And people getting murdered.
Not really. Like nobody died.
No, I meant like for you, like.
Oh no. It could have though if the guy
Very
did
closely.
die.
Oh my god, what happened?
So I was maybe I think I was like 20, and my cousin Morgan used to live in the Sioux, so we'd go visit her all the time, and we ended up like becoming friends with some of her friends. So my friend Riley used to
The same Riley who hid the liquor behind her back and sounded like an idiot.
yes. She like started talking to one of Morgan's guy friends. So and I was talking to another guy friend. So we took a trip to go visit Morgan and then met up with them. So we were at this house party and there was like this super drunk guy, like drugged out, like drunk, like he was
Oh,
super
God.
inappropriate. Like he would come up to us and like be like, "Oh, I want this one," and like
Oh my
touch our
God.
hair. Yeah, he was super creepy.
I feel like he was
Yeah.
serial killer.
So we were like, hey, like we want to leave. So we call these 2 guys. They come pick us up. They walked over, so I guess not really pick us up, but we start walking down the street. And as we're walking down the street, the same guy starts following us down the street, and he's just
Oh
being
my
super
God.
creepy. Like he's walking with us, but not saying anything. So like we stopped at one point. And we're like, "You good? Like, do you need us to call somebody? Like, do you need a ride?
Thinking like he was
do
just
you need
lost.
something?" And he's like, "I just want to smoke." So they give him a smoke, And then we continued walking, thinking that he was going to go, like, a different direction. So he keeps following us, and he's, like, right up on us, like breathing down our necks.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, oh, my God. So I turned to the guy that I was with, and he's, like, you can see that he's getting, like, super creeped out and, like, nervous. So we end up in this parking lot. It's, like, 4 o'clock in the morning at this point. So we're in this parking lot, and the guy just comes over, like the guy that I was with, comes over and just clocks the guy in the face.
Jesus
and he
Christ.
fell back like a straight board.
Oh.
Like,
Just like
smacked
a wooden
his head on the
plank,
pavement.
just...
Yeah.
That's
Like,
crazy.
punched him so hard, he, like, fell out of his shoes. And then he picked up the shoe and, like, threw it at him.
Oh my God.
Apparently in the video, he fell out of his shoes.
Yeah,
He
you can
punched
see him
out
pick up
of
a
his
shoe
shoes.
and then,
That's
toss it.
Someone
That's a
needs-
fucking
fucked up.
punch.
Someone
Yeah.
needs to learn how to tie their shoes.
So
Is it just a homeless dude that followed you?
No, he was
He
like
was a dude at the party.
he was a guy at the
Oh.
party.
I thought
So-
this was some weird homeless dude
No,
following
it was
you
the
on
same guy from the
street.
party that was like, oh, I want this one, and like touching us,
Oh.
being super creepy.
Ugh,
That is-
So,
creepy.
Gross.
anyways, the three of them take off, and I'm standing there looking at this guy, and I'm like, we can't just leave him here. Like,
Why
what
not?
if he's dead? Like, we can't
Then
leave
you're
him.
accessory to murder.
And they're like
Absolutely.
across the street, like up on this hill, and they're like, come on, come on, come on. So I'm like, fuck, like I don't know what to do. So I like, I'm shitting my pants, so I go running towards them. And then all of a sudden this van pulls up, and she's like, oh, do you guys know the guy that's like passed out in the parking lot over there? And we're
Nope.
like, no, never seen him. Like, there's a guy passed out. Like, oh my God, I wonder what happened. She's like, yeah, he tried to like crawl into my van. So I like peeled away. So we're like,
Oh.
okay, he's
Your
good.
buddy
Like,
thinks he's
not-
John Wick.
Yeah, we're like, oh, he's good. He's not passed out. Like, he's walking home. We're good. 2 days later, my cousin texts me, and she's like, look at this this article, and it's like looking for 3 or 4 like young adults, and they like gave description of exactly what we were wearing. I was like,
Oh my
Fuck,
God.
that's me. so like I literally go to the living room with my parents, and I'm like, Mom, like, and she's like, what the fuck happened? So I'm like telling her, and then they're like, okay, we have to call. Long story short, this guy punched him so hard that his brain started bleeding, so he had to be
Oh,
rushed
Fuck.
to Sudbury for like emergency like brain surgery.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he got
Moral
arrested.
of the story: don't be a fucking creep.
Yes,
Like,
but
You'll get your brain
Yeah, but
bleeding.
don't punch some random dude
Yeah.
in the face and like make his brain bleed.
No, don't make somebody else make you punch. Make them punch you in the face.
Yeah.
And it
I
turned out,
mean,
and it
that's
turned out
valid.
It's
that
all
the
about perspective.
that the parking lot that we were in was a bar that was closed, but it had security cameras
Oh
outside.
shit.
So you seen the whole thing on video. Like, so I had to go to court. I was subpoenaed to go to court to be like a witness against the guy who punched the other guy.
That sucks.
And they're like, okay, we're gonna show you the video. So they showed us the video, and it's like, you see us walking up, you see us like talking, and then you see the guy punch the other guy, and then you see him pick up the shoe, throw it at him, and then you see them bolt, and you see me standing like pointing at the guy, and I'm like looking back and forth for like 30 seconds, and then I just start running. I was like, oh my God.
Wow, I mean, that's pretty
Yeah.
scary.
What happened
So-
to the guy?
Did
He had to
actually
go to
survive?
jail. Yeah, the guy who
Okay.
got punched, he's
He,
fine.
if he didn't, the guy would be in jail for manslaughter.
yeah.
And I
That
would
would
have,
suck though.
I would
She
have
would've
got
been-
arrested.
Yeah,
You
she
would've
would have
been
been
an
arrested as
accessory.
well for accessory.
Because
Yeah.
we fled the
If not
scene.
accessory, impeding a police investigation because it took so long to call. Because you didn't call right away.
I did as soon as I got the article, but
Which
yeah,
is how
like I
many
didn't.
days later?
It would have been 2 days later.
So that would have been still impeding a police investigation.
They
If you have
would've-
information on a crime, you don't call it. Apparently, that's a crime itself, which is
Only in
stupid.
certain provinces. I know that they follow that strongly in Quebec. I'm not sure about Ontario. Because I know, like, the laws in Quebec are so strong that, like, if you see someone in, like, that's hurt or something like that, and you are, like, first aid certified, and
Yeah.
you don't do anything,
get
you can
sued.
get charged.
But if
Really?
you aren't first aid certified and you try to help and they die, you can be charged with manslaughter.
I think
So
what
it's
would have happened
fucking
is I would have
Fuck
got
if you do,
arrested
Yeah.
fuck if you
for
don't.
accessory also because we left the guy,
Yeah.
right? So in their minds, they would have been like, oh, they punched him, wanted him to die, and then they left.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
But
Okay.
he didn't die.
So, on a much light-hearted note,
Yeah, please, thank you.
yeah.
Sorry.
we are reaching about the 1 hour mark, and something I wanted to close the podcast with is just one by one, just like shout out like a piece of art you've been consuming. Like, is there a artist? Is there an actor? Is there a show? Is there?
Oh, you're gonna really do this to me right now?
Yeah. Is there an album?
I
like,
can't think of anything.
Like,
I'll start. Yo, shouts out to the Wombats.
What
Just
the
saying.
the Wombats.
Wombats. Turn. Fucking Greek Tragedy. I've been jamming these motherfuckers for a while.
Yeah.
Also Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Circles. Killing it.
We just listened that to the car. Like,
Yeah, it's
Hey.
fucking unreal. I love that song.
Yeah. One person that I'm probably gonna shout out a lot is NF.
Yeah, you
Oh,
fucking
good
love
guy.
that. You
Yeah.
love that fucking guy.
He also recently just came out with a new album. Really, The Search. Yeah, he's a dope. He's a rapper, but he's like a Christian rapper. But
Is he?
yeah.
Really?
I swear I heard him swear in his songs.
No, he
No.
does not swear in his songs.
Oh, I thought he
I
did.
like his one song that's called, what's it called? When I
Grow Up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one.
It's a good song. All of the songs are good songs. I encourage everyone to listen to them. What about you, Victoria? Any
Oh, God.
it doesn't have to be music. Is there a show or an actor?
Yo, shout out to Grey's Anatomy. For sure.
Yeah.
Obsessed. Again.
Yeah. How many times have you
McDreamy all
watched
the way.
it?
This will be my second time, but I've watched all 14 seasons so far.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did that the entire, 8 months I lived in Toronto, because I literally did nothing else.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's still just as good the second time around.
Okay. What about you, Jill?
I guess shout out to Archer.
Archer,
Coming
yeah.
out with a new season, sorry. Finally.
Well, every year.
Binged that shit. It was great.
Yeah, we season 10 I believe came out today, and we watched all 9 episodes in one sitting.
Then we watched Family Guy. I love Family Guy, but Netflix needs to put on the other half of the seasons.
Yeah, because Family Guy on Netflix only starts at season
6,
9?
isn't it?
no, season
No,
9.
They got
Oh,
rid of
really?
all of them.
I think it used to be
I
season 6.
literally know every fucking Family Guy episode word for word now.
Yeah.
I
Every
bet you
single
do.
one.
I
Oh,
wouldn't doubt it.
it's one of the things that we just put in the background all the time.
No, I sit
I
there
never
and watch it. I get
really-
stoned, I sit there and I watch it.
I never really got the appeal. Like,
It's just like
funny,
nonsense filler kind of.
But I grew up with a dad who was obsessed with The Simpsons.
I was about to say,
Like,
because my
Simpsons,
dad,
like,
our
everything.
number one
my dad
competition.
loves The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like my dad, one of his tattoos is literally Homer Simpson busting through his arm
Oh
with
my-
a baseball
Oh
bat.
my god.
Sick.
Yeah, he loves it.
All right. Well, I think this is a good start. I think we should close it here.
Yeah,
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
not too bad. Episode 1, police stories. And police stories from the
We've
crypt.
told all of our
Police
dark
stories and
Oh, I have way more to go. I have
I don't
many
think we
more.
should talk anymore about them.
I have many more that could have been shared, but yeah, we'll just end it here.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and here's to future episodes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Arrivederci.
Pastime Thinker is created by Frederick Piquet, hosted by Frederick Piquet, and edited by Jacob Quinlan.